Look at him, strolling about. Didn't know a demon would be coming after him. Alright. How many are left? Yeah, I think it's gonna end soon. He was determined to leave. I cannot yet bring myself to believe the story, as still the study where Josiah wrought is a proof that he must be the father. Or he was being tricked. I don't know, man. Bullshit, I say. There's something underneath. Pregnancy verification letter to Lady Mariana Cortez on this 10th of the February 1948. The patient, known as Maria Contessa Leopold, had positive pregnancy test. Based on the date of a last menstrual period, her estimate date of delivery is 6th day, October 1948. Okay, sure. According to this paper, the baby must be around 2 months old. But where is he? What did I get? Mailbox. Oh, Father Ambrosio Donamic. Elected as a parish priest by former bishop, he was incredibly corrupt cleric who betrayed the church in order to get involved in romantic affairs with wealthy Hungarian women, only succumbed to syphilis. Ah, that is fun. You hear? With love for Maria, Josiah. The decoy train ticket is in play. You know how the cops do their rounds at the station every evening, showing my picture around. Let's hope they'll swallow the bait and leave it. Believe I've left for Sinia. That old brood will be barking up the wrong tree while we leave the country. There's one more thing I have on my mind, though. Let's spill everything to the Father Matthias. You're fond of him. He was your best friend. Sharing the truth might ease your conscience. We may earn his understanding and perhaps even a blessing. I will arrange a meeting with him on Saturday nights. You there, love, Maria. I don't know what to believe this anymore. That this proves that she, at very least, intended to meet me. And what has transpired until now may have been at least a part real. So, she was going to the father regardless for a different reason. And the demon was like, well, that shit is convenient. Let's talk about that. Anyway.
Everything pointed to a different sequence of events. What I was certain of was that she did visit me that day. However, after we had tea, things started to make less and less sense.
So yeah, what actually happened is the question now, huh?
The rain keeps pouring, yet despite the flood and harsh weather, the police persist in their efforts to locate the remaining parts of the young woman's body. The police are scouring the area, knocking on doors and asking questions, while auxiliary troops try to keep the curious onlookers at bay. Updates come in steadily, suggesting the murder happened recently, perhaps just hours ago, as the wounds are still fresh. There's a constant fear that the killer is on the loose and might strike again. Notably, our town hasn't seen such a brutal murder since before the war, and people are not accustomed to living in fear for their lives.
Alright, cool enough. What am I missing now? Not again. Are you the police? You have to be kidding me. Captain Arbogast? Okay, Captain. Oh, good evening. I'm Captain from the police department. I hope I didn't startle you. I've been meaning to speak with Father Matthias Martin. Good evening, that would be me. I'm honored. I have heard commendable things about you. Honestly, I pictured you as an older fella. Sorry, but I ain't one of the church. I ain't one for the church. I ain't too fond of the clergymen. The rectory seems its fair share of trouble, but I reckon you're aware of that. Anyway, I've got a case on my desk. Been there a week now. A young dame caught up in the mess of love gone south with some real head-scratcher clues. Though it was your usual disappearing act, but now it looks like there we got a corpse and a slippery killer on the loose. I'm a priest. Love-wearing ladies aren't exactly my expertise. Don't be so dismissive, Father. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. Let me give you a brief outline of the case. We got this real knockout dam, red hair, green eyes, that could pierce steel, real beauty. I tell you, if you caught a glimpse, you might rethink your vows, a real stunner. But here's a twist. She's what you call trouble. Looks can deceive, and hers sure do. She got a pass, plenty of suitors lining up. Now she is tied to some rich ex-Nazi officer who claims a clean past. But that ain't the focus. This guy is a brute. Roughs her up good. She's even testified against him one. The old man in his past his prime in the bedroom, and takes it out on her, you see. He's desperate for an heir and a real legacy to leave behind. But then one day the old man gets the news of his life. She is pregnant. Don't ask how, a miracle happened, right? You know the drill, just like in the Bible. It happened once, could it happen again? But here's where it gets interesting. She's pregnant, decides to hit the road. She disappears and the old man is losing his mind, begging us to find her. He's buying drink, promising votes for my mayor run. So we do our thing, follow a few leads and track down the dog who delivered the baby. We dig deeper and before you know it, we are knocking on the door of the hotel where she holed up. Well, it seems your story has a happy ending, praise the Lord. Except her room was empty. She and her baby vanished in thin air. She kept moving from hotel to hotel, maybe her secret lover. Slippery as an eel, we were always one step behind her, and now it seems we are too late. Now my tale might sound like something straight up out of pulps. But here where it gets even darker. Just a few hours ago, we found a torso washed up in an old fish market, a grim sight, let me tell you. You see, the storm bursted a dam upstream, sending a torrent of water raging down, hauling all sort of junk into the city, mostly all stuff rotten and decayed. But among the wreckage, we found two things. First is that mutilated torso that just keep blabbling about on the radio, and the second, heavy chest. Heavy chest? I finally grabbed your attention, Father Matthias. A chest, indeed, a rare model, made of solid oak bearing the coat of arms at St. Maria's Church. You're looking pale, a bit pale, Father. I haven't even told you about the scent. The paddling inside the chest seemed like roses and strong aroma. It was soaked in blood and murky water, turned our stomach disgusting. My boys are down at the fish market where they found the gruesome discovery, and they just got the word. They stumbled upon some other parts too. I'm sorry, but it's too much if you want to make an arrest. Hold on your horses, Father. Innocent until proven guilty, remember? I haven't claimed that there's a link between your hefty chest and the corpse, but if there is, you bet I'll be back knocking on your door. God, I pray that her baby is still out there, somewhere. If only we knew her father is. Right now, my boys are scouring for a way to ID her beyond any doubt. If we lay our hand on her head, they'll be our strongest piece of evidence. If it turns out to be her, that's when I'll be paying another visit. Let's hope it's not, and this is all just a cruel twist of fate. Catch you later. Hey, God bless. God bless. God bless you too. I know who the father is.
Hello?
Bishop Benedict on the phone. Hello, this is Bishop Benedict. Apologize for the late call, but I'd like to speak to Father Matthias Martin. Father Matthias speaking. What seemed to be the problem? Father Matthias? I'm sorry, but I'm having some interference. Barely hear you. It's probably the storm. I believe I know it's really late, but the feeling there's something amiss. Something really dark and ultimately evil. Dear Lord, can you be specific? Haven't you heard the news? Yes, they are broadcasting the entire murder investigation. It's sick. That's exactly what I thought. I bet no one's sleeping tonight. They're all listening to the news. I talked on at the radio station. He's a good friend of mine. I pleaded with him to stop or at least wait for the first day of Christmas to pass, but nothing. And now they are looking for a suspect. Are you aware that they found a chest with a coat of arms of St. Maria's? Captain, dropped by just a few minutes ago. The chest, yes, Captain. Informed about this. It made me uneasy. A monstrous scandal, can you imagine? Seeing the Lord is testing us once more. I have hoped I won't have to go through another misfortune again. It's like we have been cursed. I'm also having my suspicion that the worst... I'm also having my suspicions. What worries me the most is not the chest that was found alongside the woman's body parts, but rather some information I received from someone at the rectory. Felix, about the seminarian? Lord Almighty, Felix, a murder suspect, but he's just a... I didn't say he's a murderer, God forbid. All the things I've heard about him lately. Lord forgive me, it's not just a hunch, I have my reasons, you see. In the last week I received a lot of reports about his behavior. I confess I made an error in my judgment when I considered him a good candidate for the priesthood. I've been getting report of his recent erratic behavior, even violent tendencies. There are also that he might have a certain fondness for his fellow students in an intimate manner. Even Father Josiah told me that Felix has taken his friendship for him to an unhealthy level. But I'm confident that with the help of our Lord we will settle this, as we always did. To the Lord that we will get to the bottom of it and hopefully clean the image of your parish, although I fear the worst. Now there's only one thing I want you to do. I'm all ears. Please do not leave the rectory. Let's keep a low profile. If the press comes knocking on the door, don't answer. Let me handle this. I'll proceed with caution. After all, God forgive me. It is not the first time we have to do this. When I had to do this. Rest now. There are difficult days ahead of us all.
I felt as if the veil had been lifted from my eyes. What if something truly awful had occurred at the rectory and I witnessed it? Perhaps the trauma was too overwhelming, causing me to lose touch with reality. Could I have concocted this seemingly romantic affair as a coping mechanism? Then what was the real picture? What happened with Marina after we had tea?
Oh, so the whole thing was in his head? I mean the sex part. I clearly remember making tea before she arrived, having it together here. Am I delusional? I'll check here and downstairs. I'm going to check around and downstairs. Something feels off. I have a feeling that someone is toying with me. The pregnancy letter. Yeah. What are these things? Painkillers? Okay, painkillers. What the hell is going on here? This is ridiculous. Is this some kind of joke? Father Damien Jehannes. No one knows why he wasn't ordained as a priest. The former bishop is suspected to have been bribed by Father Jehannes, and as this individual was incredibly wealthy and had political connections, he fell victim to a robbery one night that left him paralyzed, unable to serve. He died after administering overdose of morphine. Felix. I've reached a breaking point tonight. I will confess to the bishop. I cannot endure this any longer. My place is not here, despite finding comfort and salvation within the Holy Church. I sense that I am on the brink of betraying it. Let's discuss this further tonight over tea, Josiah. Instead of taking their vows seriously, they spend time with all sort of trivialities. Now we all have to suffer the consequences. So he didn't have sex with the woman, I think, is what I'm getting at. Weirdly looks real. What the hell happened? Instead of spending money on those magazines, Philip could donate to charity. Squandering money on trivialities such as these is not fitting for aspiring clergymen. On the other hand, Felix might have been ordained. Felix might never been ordained. Fresh towel and flickering candles. Someone is getting ready for a warm, cozy bath. Okay. Anything else? No? Good. Oh goodness, I hope the child is still alive. Perhaps Josiah is hiding him at his place. Considering his drunk and erratic behavior, anything could be possible. You're right, anything can be possible.
Amidst the frantic search for the missing victim's head, a new threat looms over the city. The rising floodwaters unleashed by the storm. The old fish market, the epicenter of the gruesome discovery, now lies submerged, its dark corners concealing potential evidence crucial to solving the heinous crime. As the waters surge, locals dread the possibility that body parts may be further dispersed throughout the city, carried by the swift currents. This grim prospect fuels the mounting terror gripping the community, only adding to the fear that the perpetrator, emboldened by anonymity, may strike again with impunity. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty, authorities work tirelessly to assuage public fears, urging citizens not to succumb to panic. While the floodwaters present an obstacle to the investigation, law enforcement remains undeterred in their pursuit of justice. With a growing list of suspects under scrutiny, every effort is being made to apprehend the perpetrator and bring closure to the grieving community.
Okay. It's exactly as I placed it a few hours ago. The teacup clean and teapot empty. What the hell? The tea is cold and aroma is strawberries. We never had the tea. Thank you, Felix, for the cologne you gave me, but I want you to know that I've left it in your bedroom. I appreciate the gesture, but I'm not in the mood for trivial matters. I have a lot on my mind, and I want you to understand that your friendship means a lot to me. It's not that I have something against you, but I'm simply overwhelmed. Many men have confessed to me that they keep magazines with ladies on their cover and pleasure themselves. Felix, on the other hand, keeps the magazines with men on their cover. He's gay, I understand that. Let's move on now. Alright, what else am I missing here? Josiah, you seem bothered. It's as if I don't know you anymore. I feel you are hiding something. Your behavior has changed lately, and I don't know what to make of it. You're nervous, and it seems like nothing I do has any effect on the changing your mood. You're full of anger. I can feel that. Please talk to me. You know I am your best friend. Oh, how young can be deceived. How young can be deceived and led astray by the trivialities of this world. A famous priest once said, "What we are not content with, the worms shall delight in our... What we are not content with, the worms shall delight in after our death. We will all rot in graves. It is the soul we should take care of, not our bodies." Father Abraham Marcus, the most controversial figure to have lived within the walls of this rectory. A convert to Christianity, a man of rare finesse, Father Abraham chose to end his life following a terrible scandal in which he was involved with a woman. It is suspected that he had a child with whom he killed in an incident, as the child was hit by his own car while he was driving. May God rest his soul. Dear student of the seminary and the sisters of Maria's convent, we are pleased to announce our intention to hold memorial service in near future. Okay, good. Alright, got it. 10:06. A picture from she was pregnant. It must have been taken a few months ago.
Despite his betrayal of vows, my prayers were for Josiah's soul and the safety of the innocent child. In the heat of the moment, driven by jealousy, a man may succumb into the depths of depravity, committing the most abominable acts. Could Josiah's hands be tainted?
I should burn them all. I'm going to check around downstairs. Something really feels off. I have a feeling that someone is toying with me. I think I missed something after the game crashed. At this hour? Ah, Captain. Good evening, Father Matthias. Only I wasn't expecting you to answer. Good evening. What seemed to be the trouble is a bit late. Don't worry, Father Matthias. I'm an old bachelor. No damn waiting at my doorstep. Got all the time in the world. Speaking of holy matrimony, Father, why the collar but no ring? I mean, look at you, young and dashing, well-spoken, well-respected around these parts. Surely you do some company. Come on now, don't play coy. We are all men here, red blood pumping through our veins and all that. Sometimes the urge hits us like a freight train. And when you are parched, only a kiss of a beautiful redhead with green eyes can quench that thirst. Please, I get the gist. You are here to talk about the victim. Actually, I'm here to talk about you and your fellow clergymen. I don't play favorites in my book. Every one of you is a suspect. All of you had something to do with Mariana. But only one of you killed her. I hope you, whoever did it, showed mercy and spared the child. We still don't know who the father is, but I have got my hunches. My sights are set on Father Josiah, always stumbling around, half in the bag, with a temper to match, and not exactly a saintly behavior if you ask me. I tried having a chat with him earlier, but he was too deep in the bottle to make sense. We saw him sitting in the rain, his car packed with all sort of odds and ends. I saw a teddy bear in there, and fresh off the shelf, got me wondering, what's the priest doing with a teddy bear? And then there's his shiny new baby stroller. Naturally, I took the liberty of poking around with my boys. I admit I was a bit shady without a warrant. But hey, you did the same thing earlier, didn't you? Yes, I admit I also saw the teddy bear and I had to look inside. I appreciate you for being honest. However, we have been nosing around a bit more than you. We have took the liberty to snoop around every nook and cranny, and let me tell you, we have a lot of evidence. Love letter dripping with passion between Mariana and Dr. Josiah. A little trinket and souvenir, even books on fatherhood. Quite treasure trove, I must say. Along her remains a solid oak chest belonging to the church where her lover reserves. Father Josiah is drowning in sorrow in the rain, clutching a bottle to declare dear life. Is he a father? Could he plunge a knife in her heart? Now he's up. I'm not slapping cuffs on him just yet. It's just a theory, a way of connecting the dots. After all, I could say the same about you, couldn't I? What? You're rattled, Father. I can see plain as day a blank stare of yours, like you have seen things you wish you hadn't. You have just rolled back into the town, haven't you? The boys caught a wind of your little trip, sawing you slinking back from the outskirts. Funny how nobody noticed you slipping away. I must admit, I'm itching to know myself. Were you transporting something in the back of your truck, Father? A hefty oak chest, perhaps? I refuse to answer any of your questions. Please leave. Are you hiding something, Father? You are shaking. Did you do something to her? Where is her baby? What have you done, Father? Enough. The church will take care of this. Now please leave. We have found her head, Father. The coroner said it looked like it was done with a hacksaw. That tells us a lot about the killer. It's one thing to swing an axe and be done with it, but using a hacksaw, that's slow, deliberate act. Takes time and precision. Apologies for the grim holiday cheer, Father. I want you to handle this nice and easy, but you and your crew are giving me the runaround. I ain't fond of murderers, but I have got a soft spot for those who own up to their sins, seeing real remorse, tears flowing. It's almost touching. So here's the deal. You got 1 hour. One of you three need to confess. It must be. It must. I might just spare you from the firing squad.
Captain Arbogast threatened me. He
Arbogast.
demanded a confession. Despite insinuating that he suspected Father Josiah and perhaps Felix, I knew he actually had his eyes on me. But how could I confess to something I haven't done? I wasn't in good conscience, ready to do that. Instead, I proceeded to look around for evidence that would tie either Josiah or Felix to her death.
All right, that's good enough. All right, open up the gate, Felix. No, he's not home. What? Possession is a state in which a person's body is under the complete control of the demonic entity. This control extends to the individual action, speech, behavior, and effectively usurping their autonomy. Possession is considered a grave spiritual affliction, requiring the intervention of the trained clergy. Specific atrocious who employ the ritual, prayers, and sacrament to liberate the possessed individual from the influence of the demon and restore their spiritual well-being. Well then, shit is gonna go wild. I just got stabbed by Josiah. So Josiah is the one who killed her, I guess.
Christ, that damned fool. I was incredibly lucky that the blade didn't touch any of my vital organs.
Well, I better patch up this wound. I need something to sterilize and something to soothe the pain. Okay. Oh, what? Josiah, there's an unspoken weight between us, isn't there? I can sense your inner turmoil as if it mirrors my own. The struggle, the constant battle against the desire, the nights spent tossing and turning, wrestling with our demons, they haunt me as much as they do you. This is downright scandalous. Felix may have interpreted Josiah's mood as a sign of something else. How are you gonna sterilize the wound, though? Oh, great, there are no pills. Now we take the bottle of alcohol.
I patched the wound as best I knew how. It was sort of painful, but not as painful as the realization that my friend, Father Josiah, may have been the one who murdered Marina. It was at that moment that I decided to call the police and voice all my concerns.
Dear God, that underwear. There's no tone, blasted phone, right now, right when I need it the most. What am I going to do? I'm wounded. Father Josiah is drunk. Violent and armed with a knife. I don't feel safe. Excellent question. Hey. Sorry for not joining you in the prayer at the church. I had something important to attend to. No worries, wait a second. Good heaven, what happened to you? You're wounded. You alright? You look dreadful. Christ, you should see a doctor immediately. Please don't start again. You always do this. I can handle it on my own. Goodness, really? You need to stop. You can't keep pushing yourself like this. You're exhausted. That wound, what happened? I'm fine, please forgive me. I feel unease. All the news on the radio. Yes. I understand the grim news. What can I say? You shouldn't subject yourself to do that. I understand you perfectly. Who on earth thought it was wise to broadcast those gruesome details of murder on Christmas Eve, just when children are waiting Santa? It's utterly thoughtless, especially during the time meant for joy and celebration. Just try to ignore it. Let's focus on the warmth of the season and the joy it brings. By the way, I must go to the convent. Some important matters to attend regarding tomorrow's service. I have to check if we received the flowers we ordered last week. Won't be gone long. Have some rest and take care of yourself. Take some painkiller. I don't like that wound. See you tomorrow morning. Understood. By the way, may I use your phone? Oh, the phone in your room broke too. What a coincidence. I offer, but mine is out of order. It's been broken for a week. Regrettably neglected fixing it. I have spoken with someone to come by and look into it. Speaking of, I have heard your phone ringing a couple of times today. It made me wonder if someone was trying to reach you. Did something happen to ask for you? No, by the way, have you seen Father Josiah? Yes, unfortunately. He's drunk. He knocked at my door a few times ago. I attempted to talk some sense into him. He was rambling incoherently, completely inebriated. Poor Father Josiah. I've never seen him like this, tears streaming down his face. He kept muttering about love before staggering off. He has had his struggle with alcohol, but this time it's as thought he lost control. He's such a gentle soul. Who knows, perhaps the radio reports about the murder affected him. All those gruesome details, difficult not to be deeply effective. Now I really have to go. Promise me you steer clear of the radio, have some rest, and take care of that wound, alright? Okay, we are not gonna tell him anything, are we? I don't know why there was a few minutes later, but okay. Wisdom of the Elders. A venerable elder steeped in wisdom consult a brother against the sin of pride, yet the brother ensnared by the blindness of his own thought, reported, "Forgive me, Father, for pride finds no heaven with me." To this, the sage elder replied, "In what manner could you be more starkly unveil your own pride, my child, than by such a response? Pride goes before destruction, a naughty spirit before a fall." Some sort of sleeping pill. Okay. Spiky. Oh, there are a lot of things here. I forced it open and now the door won't stay locked. I hope the chair will hold it for a few minutes while I look around. Okay. Medicine and faith. Modern advancement in medicine are truly remarkable. Yet, just recently, my dear friend Adriana sought my guidance regarding one of his patients struggling from traumatic memories from wartime service. I suggested confession. 2 days later, and he sent me a letter of gratitude after the priest absolved his patient of sin in God's name. He could see joy radiating from the patient's face. It's moments like these where science can benefit from a touch of spiritual support. I often like to say, intriguing tale, but I fear that Felix will never lay his hand upon someone's head and absolve them of their sin. He will never become a priest. Too sad, too sad. The safe inside, I could try to force it open, but what am I going to tell Felix? I vandalized his safe. It's a very cozy home, I must say. A tree near the fireplace, real smart. Felix enjoy elegance, sorry. Felix enjoy elegance, perhaps a bit too much. I prefer simplicity and humility, just like Saint Francis. Note on exorcism. And I am trained to be the first one to approach a situation with skepticism. We wouldn't want someone with severe mental affliction to be subjected to ritual that may themselves have an even more dangerous impact on the person who actually needs a special medication. On the other hand, What worries me the most is that devil and his demons would gladly take advantage of someone's mental illness to deceive the priest and those around the victim. Seem to be a reflection of demonic possession and mental illness. I must say I agree with this. Felix does his homework with dedication and wisdom. The rain has been relentless for hours. What are you hiding? There's a candle here.
The identity of the victim discovered hours ago at the fish market has finally
Fuck
been
you, game.
established. Marina Constanza. Her dismembered body has just been transported to Central Hospital for a thorough examination in a desperate attempt to further analyze the brutal murder. Meanwhile, her grieving husband remains in a state of profound shock, grappling with the horrifying reality of his loss. According to her husband, she had just given birth to a baby boy 2 months ago. The search for answers has been reluctantly halted for the evening, with plans to resume at the first light of morning. Despite the grim discovery of the body parts, one crucial element remains conspicuously absent: Marina's baby. Despite relentless efforts by both officials and volunteers, the whereabouts of the innocent boy remain shrouded in mystery, fueling chilling speculation of kidnapping, murder, or even falling prey to possible predation by wild animals. The widowed husband clings to fading hope, yearning to locate the remains of their precious child. Whatever the resolution of this case may be, his desperate wish is to reunite mother and child in a final solemn embrace, laying them both to rest in a Christian burial, albeit in the shadow of unimaginable horror.
Okay. Things happened. Alright. Okay, Simon Lawrence. With Father Lawrence, spiritual life flourished in our parish. Many young men turned away from decadence and even joined monasteries. The local gang laid down their weapons and the violence in the streets seemingly ended. For the first time in a year, Father Simon held procession across the main street, and the hundreds joined in the march for peace. However, the God called this blessed man to his side too early and died of asphyxiated with carbon monoxide in the same room where I live in the requisite in Pace. Okay, so he murdered her, most likely.
Would you look at this? What kind of twisted fantasy are you living? This is stuff only a priest should possess.
What's inside? But these are my ring. The sanction I received for my achievement, he stole these from me. He stole a stole similar to mine. In fact, it's mine. That's a top quality, what is that, clerical collar? Where did you get it from? Let's see. Okay, the gospel fragment. And behold, the Canaanite woman from this region came out and cried, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely possessed by a demon," but he did not answer her word. The rest of the text is missing, but I recognize it from Matthew 15:22. Strange how everything revolves around demonic possession. Father Leonard Martin. Hey, is he your father? A distant relative of mine. Oh, okay. Who inspired me to choose this path. He was for many years a simple monk before heeding the call of actual bishop who ordained him. He is known for founding St. Maria's Convent, where he helped rehabilitate and give a new chance to many women who were led astray in their lay life. Many of the nuns were given a new chance at life. Tragically, he was found dead in the conventional one morning by one of his sisters. The dead remains a mystery to this day. Oh, wait, what? A secret hidden compartment. I see. Oh, there we are. 1618. and 1522. 1618 or 1522. I got it.
I pleaded with him to stay away, to drop the knife, but the man wouldn't listen. I was frantically waving the revolver towards him when suddenly... At that moment, I felt as if the devil had finally won. There was no reason for me to live. I was ready to put an end to it all, when suddenly...
The child appeared out of nowhere, thin air. Come on, man, shoot the child first. The last confession. The confession serves as the path to reconcile with God and cleanse the soul of the patient. It is the first step towards spiritual restoration in the sacrament of confession and confidentially is paramount. The priest solemnly committed to upholding the secrecy of each confession in accordance with the law of the church.
Here I am, with Josiah's death weighing heavily on my soul. But it feels like it was bound to happen. I know it's difficult to accept, but he made 2 attempts on my life. It was purely self-defense. However, what I can't comprehend is why I'm being unjustly accused of Marina's murder. Why doesn't anyone believe I am innocent?
It's noble that you have chosen to confess your sin. However, your story doesn't quite add up. Lord, please do not forsake him. I have been repenting this over and over. The captain and his henchman are pursuing me to confess to a murder I didn't commit. It was a divine providence that led me to discover the baby in the Felix's room just before they arrested me. I did not kill Marina. I stand by my innocence with every fiber of my being, and I'll go to my grave proclaiming it. Can't you see that's exactly what they wanted? To paint me as demented murderer. The whole charade was set up to pin her murder on me. The entire scandal was orchestrated from the get-go. You have got to grasp the sheer malice to play here. Felix's twisted fixation on demonic possession. He's a homosexual. Calm down, let's focus, let's take a deep breath. Don't you dare tell me to calm down. I'm the one in handcuffs, not you. My life hangs in the balance here, the blood has been shed, and if they brush aside my story, despite the mountain of evidence I have, I'll be facing death. I refuse to die for a crime I didn't commit. I've been telling you all along there's a conspiracy at play here. Even his ambience himself confided in me about Felix's dark inclination, his violent temper. He was fixated on Joshua. Josiah, he had solid reason to kill her. Listen, you have to clear your mind. And what kind of confession is this, Father? Am I not permitted to share what burdens my soul? Since when does the priest dictate what patient should confess? You'll hear me out. My mind is clearer now than it has ever been. The authorities possess infallible evidence of Father Josiah's involvement with that woman. When Felix, nothing short of depraved murderer, learned of this, he snapped and killed her. Don't ask me how it happened. All I know that she visited me to discuss her affair with Josiah. I made tea using the pack that was likely tampered with by Felix with his sleeping pills. There is no explanation for what transpired afterward. Most likely we lost conscious and he murdered her. You claim the tea downstairs remained untouched when you returned from the cemetery. I told you, Father, there are aspects that elude my comprehension. My mind is in turmoil. The devil has been manipulating me, you see. Exploiting my vulnerable state, he instilled false images in my mind, the deed I never committed. Listen, your story still lacks coherence. Now it's time to humble yourself and confess. Damn it, I refuse to confess anything. You must understand we are battling the forces of evil. There's a curse looming over this parish. We all need to repent and hold daily Latin Mass. The premise require an exorcism. Justice will prevail both on earth and heaven. We must purge all the corrupt elements tarnishing the church's reputation. And it all has to start with Felix's incineration. If this is what you want to hear, know that Felix has already been arrested. Really. Glory to Almighty God, praise be to Lord and Immaculate Virgin. Why was I not informed of this sooner? And why am I still restrained? How could this eminence, the bishop, allow the secular authorities to degrade and insult one of their most esteemed priests of the church? How dare they ridicule me? They are oblivious to the fact that I, Father
Felix, that is
Martin...
enough. You are not Father Matthias Martin.
Huh?
On that fateful afternoon, you received a phone call from Marina. She wanted to talk about her relationship with Josiah and came over with her baby. They planned to leave that night, yet your mind conjured a different image of her. Alluring, flirtatious, daring. In truth, she was merely a troubled soul seeking a fresh start. Regrettably, the phone in my room was broken, diverting the call to yours as we share the same landline. Alas, fate dictated that it was you who answered. I dare not say the murder was premeditated. You snapped upon hearing of Marina and Josiah's relationship. Her tale of their love likely struck you like a thunderbolt. The sight of their child overwhelmed you, serving as a harsh reminder that your desires would never be fulfilled. You dragged her body down into the basement, and you proceeded to dismember her with a sword. Your inner demons conjured up this seemingly intimate encounter with her, perhaps as a facade to conceal your denial of what you've done. While I was at the chapel conducting the midnight service, you loaded the chest into your truck and drove to the old bridge. You claimed to have gone to the old cemetery with the intention of burying her corpse, but the chest mysteriously vanished. The truth is, when you arrived at the old cemetery, there was no chest in your trunk. That's because you disposed of it by throwing it over the bridge. That's how the currents from upstream washed away all the body parts into the city. Father Josiah waited for Marina to arrive, but when he saw the stroller and heard the news of her corpse being found, he lost it. It wasn't difficult to piece everything together. It was a miracle, though, that you spared the child, whom I found in the basement. I locked him safely in my room and went straight to the police. You were arrested right after you found the baby. Praise the Lord. I dread to think what you could have done to him.
I think that one is the real Father Martin. As much as I hate it, this is the truth. Who am I? What in the world are you talking about? What twisted game are you playing, Felix? Seize this as one at once. This is no game. Life hangs in balance. Why, for the heaven's sake, are you wearing the clerical shirt and blessed stole upon your shoulder? It is forbidden. You're not a priest. As much as I hate, this is the truth. Okay, no. You have to understand, accept the truth. Man up. You're lying. I refuse to believe your story. I refuse to believe it. Do you hear me? Your tale is nothing but deceit. It's veiled and twisted. You are no Father Matthias Martin. Despite your persistent, you will not escape justice. You have been clothing with Josiah all along, orchestrating this scheme to frame me for murder. You are a filth on the secular world, seeking to undermine the authority of the Holy Church. You are the embodiment of degenerate society. Felix, even if you continue to pretending to be someone you're not, the outcome will still be the same. But I don't want to go to prison. Yes, I confess before our Lord, and I have faltered. There are times when I lost control. I have immersed myself for too long in the fantasies, allowing them to overpower, and I didn't even try to resist. I indulged in sin. I reveled in it. It was intoxicatingly sweet. Do not despair. There's always hope. In time, you will heal. Heal from what? Are you suggesting, Felix, that I'm insane? Of course, that would be a brilliant scheme to throw me in asylum forever. Yes, Felix, carry out the devil's bidding. Attempt to tarnish the reputation of the church, you serpent. But mark my words, the world is transient. But the Holy Church will not crumble under the corrupt influence of wretches like you. Oh, the sacrifice I have made for my beloved church. How frequently I wish to rectify the wrong and purge the church of corrupt elements like yourself. But alas, it was all in vain. You'll get nowhere like this, Felix. Step out of it. You're stronger than this. Oh God, yes, I am stronger than this. But all those dream of being famous and admired, I just wanted to be loved by everyone just like you are. How messed up I am. I have made my life a nightmare. If only I asked for your help when I needed it. How silly of me to think I could be like you. To believe I could do something in the world, being so proud. I have always been told by people around me that I'm the best, that I can achieve anything in this world if I try hard enough. How arrogant. But it was all lie. I believed them. And now look at me. I've done something despicable. There's always hope for the redemption. It is brave for you to have confessed, Felix. Confessed? I have not confessed anything, you wretch. The charades ends now. Let's get it over with. I request to be taken from here. Don't let anyone hear this. I throw myself to the wolf as an innocent, defenseless sheep. I, Father Matthias Martin, embrace ultimate sacrifice. Well, he's gone completely buck insane.
You see, I'm hesitant to talk about this, but the rumors are true. I am a priest. I am Father Matthias Martin. And as I look at your face, your expression speaks volumes, young man. You have lived a sinful life.
If it is true what they say, that you are a priest, then I'd like to unburden my soul.
child. How brave of you. Come, kneel before me. Fear not, our exchange shall be brief and entirely confidential.
What the fuck? Okay. Okay. Haha. Game by George Ramos P. This guy really hated Christianity. Well, everyone, I hope you have enjoyed. What have you done, Father? I'm Sir Kant, and I'll see you all in the next game. Bye bye.